The World Is Not Enough is a 1999 James Bond film. It's directed by Michael Apted. And this time around, we see this billionaire, Sir Robert King, get assassinated. So James Bond gets assigned to protect his daughter, Electra King. And not only that, he has to figure out who is behind this dastardly act. Now, what I thought of The World Is Not Enough was, surprisingly, I enjoyed this movie. I'll get to why this is a surprise in a minute, but I should start with James Bond gets injured because there's so much going on, so much of him trying to catch whoever is behind all of this, but between each and every one of these people being so loyal to whoever they're working for, they'll even kill themselves before they get captured because that's how dangerous this person is. And Bond gets injured. He tears his collarbone or something, so he is initially off this assignment. But he convinces the nurse, through his ways, of releasing him and having him be okay. And I like that for a character moment for Bond because it's like, wow, I've never really seen him have to work injured and the way how he does it. But it was admittedly a missed opportunity because throughout the film you don't really see him have to deal with the injury. You don't really see this injury affect him throughout the mission. So that's disappointing. But it was a good setup for the character. Now, Sophie Marceau, who plays Electra King, I like this actress because she was hot. And two, what she had gone through, even before the movie happens, we see that she was kidnapped by this group and they tortured her. They had her for all of this time. There was a ransom on her, but she was able to escape. And to see how tortured she was, how messed up she was, and how much Bond felt bad for her, it just made me feel bad for her. And then where they took that character kind of surprised me, and I didn't see it coming. I should also mention the other Bond girl, Denise Richards. Her character's name is Christmas Jones. I don't know what's more funny, her name or the fact that her character is a nuclear physicist. Denise Richards playing a nuclear physicist. Look, I can applaud the movie for casting someone like Denise Richards and then giving her a role that's slightly smarter and is more capable than you probably would have expected her to be. But it is a bitter pill to swallow. It is hard for me to believe that Denise Richards would be this intelligent. She's gorgeous, don't get me wrong, but it's like, come on. Now, the villain, when we finally do get to know more about him and what he's about, I really thought it was interesting that they set up how he was shot in the back of the head by Agent 009. But he didn't die from this. The bullet is still lodged in the back of his head, and the bullet has cut off so many nerve systems, and so he can't feel a thing. And when I heard this, I'm like, wow, this is a great setup for a villain, because when Bond finally face-to-faces with him, he's going to be tough to fight, tough to beat, tough to kill. But they don't really do anything with that either. It's weird. It's like there's so many good ideas, there's so much good setup with certain character stuff, Bond and this villain, but I guess ultimately they don't really pan to anything, which is unfortunate. Speaking of unfortunate, this was Q's last movie, the actor that plays Q, because by this point he was so old, and it's almost like they knew that he was in bad shape because the actor died like a month after the movie was put out. So how ironic is that in this movie you see him sort of saying he's going to retire and giving the reins to a new person to now come in, step in, and be the person to give Bond equipment and whatnot. And I guess the last thing I should mention is the action. Because the action in this movie is kind of ridiculous, but in a good way. I've seen some reviews online that said that they thought there was too much action in this movie, that it's trying to compensate for the lack of script and writing in this film. And I can understand that. In many ways, that probably is the case. But, fuck it. If the script really is that weak, if there really isn't anything going for it, then why not just shove more action in there? Maybe people don't like Bond being turned into just a brainless action film, but I did think that there was some interesting stuff in the script, enough to keep me sort of wanting to follow along. And then the action was just so much, like at the beginning when Bond is trying to chase after this woman who was like an assassin. He goes on this speedboat and there's a moment where it looks like he's lost her, but no, he just reroutes, goes a different way, and keeps going. Of course, it's almost like it's in the contract of James Bond, whoever actor, whatever actors play this character, that they have to do a skiing scene. It's only a matter of time before Daniel Craig has to do a bunch of skiing action scenes. So all in all, I'm going to say that I enjoyed The World Is Not Enough. Maybe it was because I've heard so much negative things about it, or I've heard that there wasn't anything to look forward to with these last couple Bond films. I was being skeptical, but again, I was pleasantly surprised. So guys, let me know in the comments below if you saw The World Is Not Enough and what did you think of it. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Later!